Once you realize that Bitcoin is digital property or digital money or digital energy, all of these things, then it becomes clear that everything else you could possibly own is inferior to that, right? You would really never want to own anything other than pure digital energy. Why Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is the most universally desirable property in space and time. And ultimately, the idea of Bitcoin is nothing, is an elegant 1/21 millionth of all of the value on the network for as long as the network may last. Digital energy, digital property, digital money is the greatest utilitarian asset, the greatest utilitarian value, or the greatest utilitarian asset on the greatest utilitarian network in the world, in the history of the world. That means for 8 billion people, right, it offers the possibility of economic empowerment.
American entrepreneur and business executive Michael Saylor, who co-founded and leads MicroStrategy, a company which provides business intelligence, mobile software, and cloud-based services, breaks down why he is bullish on Bitcoin in this Bitcoin Magazine interview with host Alex McShane. Overall, MicroStrategy has declared that it now holds about 114,042 Bitcoins that were bought for $3.16 billion at an average price of $27,713 per Bitcoin. That implies a gain of about $1.94 billion on the company's Bitcoin investment at current Bitcoin prices. Watch the rest of this interview and find out why Michael Saylor is bullish on Bitcoin and why you need to get your hands on Bitcoin now.
Once you realize that Bitcoin is digital property or digital money or digital energy, all of these things, then it becomes clear that everything else you could possibly own is inferior to that, right? You would really never want to own anything other than pure digital energy, right? Like why do you want to own a building, right? The only reason you want to own a building is you were going to freeze to death if you didn't have somebody to come in from the cold to, right? Like you would own a building to live in because otherwise you're going to freeze to death. Okay, that's a good reason. But with all your discretionary energy beyond that, if you chose to own a 50-story skyscraper in Manhattan, is that as good as digital? No, because the mayor of Manhattan can seize your building by eminent domain. So property in the physical domain doesn't hold its value through time, and it doesn't hold its value through space. And it's not fungible, right? The Rockefeller Center is not the same thing as 1,000 acres in Kansas. They're different things. The Rockefeller Center is not even the same thing as another big building in Manhattan. Whereas a Bitcoin is the same as a Bitcoin. And we're back to your issue, like where do you get rid of volatility? One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin, and it means the same thing, whether or not, what is one Bitcoin? 1/21 millionth of all the energy in the network. And what is it going to be in 1,000 years? 1/21 millionth of all the energy in the network. Okay, who's that interesting to? Everybody that joins the network. Who can join the network? It's open, permissionless. Anybody on Earth can join the network. Okay, so is that everybody? Well, not everybody, because some people haven't joined the network, but it is more inclusive than any other thing, any other property network. Why Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is the most universally desirable property in space and time. It's the property with the lowest maintenance cost. You could put $1 billion of Bitcoin in cold storage and you don't have to pay 2% a year to maintain it, or 5% a year, or 10% a year. The maintenance cost on a boat is 10% a year. The maintenance cost on a building is 3% a year. The maintenance cost on fill in the blank, pay to store your gold, pay to store your artwork, pay to store your whatever it is. There's a cost. You own a company, well, there's a cost to own a company. You actually get diluted by the CEO or the executive team when they issue stock options. If the company didn't have any employees, right, and didn't have any cost, then maybe there wouldn't be as much maintenance. But what do you call a company that has no employees and no maintenance costs? Well, Bitcoin, it becomes something else. So I think that when you embrace Bitcoin as your property strategy, you can get away from the maintenance cost. The likelihood it's going to be impaired decreases exponentially. It's a lot harder to seize $1 billion of Bitcoin than it is to seize $1 billion of land, or $1 billion of art, or $1 billion of gold, or $1 billion of a building, or $1 billion of stock. Exponentially harder. So I look at Bitcoin and I think, well, it's a universal property. It'll last forever. It's very hard to seize. It's very hard to tax. It's easy to move, and that makes it universally appealing. Because on the day you wake up and you find that it's illegal to own Bitcoin in your country, you can either take it with you to another country. Try taking $1 billion of gold to another country with you. Try taking $1 billion of building in another country. So you can either take it with you, or you can send it somewhere, or you can sell it. And so the ability to send it, to take it, or to keep it, or to sell it, all those are three rights that you sacrifice when you buy a house, or a building, or land, or securities, or credit, or cash. You don't have those rights, or art, or collectibles, or sports teams, right? Whatever it is you think you have, you don't have property rights with those things. And ultimately, the idea of Bitcoin is nothing, is an elegant 1/21 millionth of all of the value on the network for as long as the network may last. There's nothing more stable, nothing more predictable in the entire financial universe than that, right? That is the single most stable, body in the entire financial universe. If you're looking for something to revolve around, there's nothing more stable. I think it naturally follows, right? Digital energy, digital property, digital money is the greatest utilitarian asset, the greatest utilitarian value, or the greatest utilitarian asset on the greatest utilitarian network in the world, in the history of the world. That means for 8 billion people, right, it offers the possibility of economic empowerment. I think if you want to give joy to 8 billion people, you need digital music. And if you want to give education or enlightenment to 8 billion people, you need digital books or digital education. And if you want to give wealth to 8 billion people, you need digital property, digital money, right? And there is no other, there's nothing else that offers that promise, right? The reason Bitcoin's powerful is because at the end of the day, you can put trillions and trillions of dollars of energy on the network, and you can distribute it over something like the Lightning Network to 8 billion mobile devices, and the mobile devices cost $50. So the ability to give economic energy to 8 billion people on a $50 device, and do it with integrity, and do it with no friction, right? Like when you're moving stuff on the Lightning Network, you're moving it for 1 Satoshi. So It's friction-free, speed of light, at any scale, $37, $37,000, $37 million, you know, at any frequency. So that Bitcoin offers the promise of monetary superconducting. Like it's like in a superconducting network, when you get the temperature at a low enough level, there's no friction anymore, and you can do some pretty amazing things. That's what we have in Bitcoin. Or maybe call it's like weightlessness. If I actually took you into a weightless orbit and I can all of a sudden push 1,000,000 pounds with a finger, interesting things happen. And I think that's what we have here. It's a major breakthrough. But if you believe in Bitcoin, it's obvious. If you don't believe in Bitcoin, maybe you shouldn't be in the business. Like, if you're going to look me in the face and if you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, I don't think you should be a Bitcoin miner. I don't think you should be a Bitcoin exchange. I don't think you should be a Bitcoin wallet. I don't think you should. I just don't think you should be. You shouldn't be a pure play focused in the business at all, because you're already a loser. You've already decided you're going to lose. If you think your asset's going to zero, it's hopeless. All these other things. If you think it's not going to zero, then rational thinking is the competition in the market is making my Bitcoin more valuable. That's good. But the competition is making my existing business less profitable. That's bad. And if I'm a genius and I execute well, maybe I can stay ahead of everybody else. Maybe. But while I'm doing that, every single free dollar I can raise, I should convert to Bitcoin. Because there's out of 100 possibilities, there's 99 paths where you fail and Bitcoin succeeds. And there's one path where you fail, where you succeed and Bitcoin succeeds. And, you know, some people don't think Bitcoin is going to succeed, but they're not with us, right? You don't think Bitcoin is going to succeed, go do something else, you know, whatever with your life, but don't try to create a Bitcoin business. My closing remark is, I thought Bitcoin was a good idea in August of 2020. There's every single month for the past 13 months, there have been fundamental developments in the space that have made it a better idea. Every single month, every week, I almost see a new development that makes the network stronger, smarter, faster, harder. It makes it more anti-fragile. It makes it more it becomes clearer and clearer that this is the future of digital property. This is digital energy. This is the future of digital money. This is the solution to the problems of the world. This is a macroeconomic imperative for $500 trillion worth of capital. This is a technical imperative for everybody in the technology industry and the energy industry. And this is a moral imperative for everybody on Earth, right? So I've just become more convicted every single week, every single month that's gone by.
What do you think about what Michael Saylor shared in this interview? Do you think Bitcoin is the future of digital money? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. That is it for our video for today. If you liked this, do like the video and do subscribe to the channel to keep yourself updated on all crypto news. Till the next video, this is Crypto Revolution.